Let's do this.
Welcome back, family. We've got a hot time in the old town tonight. It's hit over 100 degrees here in Georgia, and I know that there are people that live further south and west where temperatures are just as bad. So let's stay inside, crank that AC, and read some comic books. But in the meantime, though, we're going to be checking out this week's Cover Price Top 20 because they used to do a top 10, but then they did honorable mentions. So as far as I'm concerned, it's 20 books. We're going to check them out. And this is for the week of today's date is July 17th, 2024. We're going to look at these books from an investability standpoint. Let's see how we're doing here. We've got Robert Monroe checking in right off the bat. Good evening, Rich and my fellow coconuts. Looking forward to this week's top 20. If you wonder why we call each other coconuts, well, it's mahalo. It's Hawaiian themed. And coconuts is how we refer to ourselves on our Patreon, which you're more than welcome to join at Patreon/Team Ohana. The link is in the description. It's only $3 a month. And this month's Patreon meetup is going to be July 27th. It's a Saturday, 8 p.m. The people that show up are going to pick books. And once every couple of months, I mail them out. Well, this is the month. So make sure you get there, add some extra books to your collection. And I'll get them all out to you as soon as we pick them out. The link for the meetup is on the Patreon page. 25 Perez DTM. Dude, I was just going through my subscribers. You got more subscribers than I do, dude. Good for you, man. And Stinker Buns, how's it going? Greetings, family. How you doing today, sir? Oh, wow. Talking about Stinker Buns, before we even get into this, let's give everybody the guilt trip that we try to do. You know, he's got a fundraiser going on for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. And he's going to be running this until August 2nd. And I really want to see that blue bar move it up a little bit higher there. Okay. So let's make sure that we just support our fellow coconut/family members here on the channel. It's a good charity. Okay. We're just trying to raise $1,500 for his fundraiser towards it. And if you can't copy that down, and I don't blame you, the link for this is also in the description. So please make sure that you check this out. And, for this $5 or $50, whatever you can, everything helps. Really appreciate you. So let's get back to where we were. Back to the comments. Okay. So I tried to look ahead of time. Got an interesting list. A couple of books I was like, I had to, why? And couple of them that due to trailers that have come out are no surprise. All right, so we're going to minimize that, get this one up and ready, and jump right into number 20 on the list. We've got Ain't No Grave, number 3, the Scotty Young 1 in 25. And while this is a cool cover, and Scotty Young's writing is usually pretty good, I don't know if this is going to be something that has much investability. So current prices, let's see what we got. Highest known price on the 21st of June, which means somebody pre-ordered it a few weeks in advance and paid $65, but now they're going for $28. So another one of those ratio variants that people really wish they had not bought. I am so against ratio variants. And that being said, there's a ratio variance on this list, which I got, and it's here. So I'll be showing you. So kind of a hypocrite there. But this one, I loved it for myself. But in all honesty, it's like 99 out of 100 of the ratio variants drop in price. I think the safest bet would just be don't buy any ratio variants unless you just love them because you love them. And then the one that does go up in price, after it goes up in price, you could buy it with the money you saved from not buying all the others and still have money left in your pocket. So this is a candidate for one of my rubber band to the butt picks. Maybe not. We'll see. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, at the end of this list, I'm going to do a gun to the head pick, which is something I really shouldn't be saying after Saturday. I must have pick. Maybe we need to change the wording on that. If I had to pick one book on this list at current prices, which one would it be? And that'll be my I've always called it gun to the head. I don't want to change it, but I'll try to come up with something better. And um, the pick that I think is the worst investment out of all of them on the 20, I will point that out as well. In my opinion, okay? In my opinion, I'm not always right. I got boxes of books that have dropped dramatically in price to prove I'm not always right. The other thing is there was a third thing. I can't remember what it is. I'm sure it'll come up to me. Oh, yeah. For anybody that disagrees or thinks that a book is on this list that it shouldn't be, please don't blame cover price. Okay. They're just reporting what the industry is selling. Okay. They compile the data from eBay and different auctions and stuff like that, sales, and they're just reporting what we're spending money on. So if you're like, wow, man, that should be $65. I agree with you. But there are people out there paying it. So cover price is just reporting that to us. They make no claim as to whether or not it's a good investment or not. So don't blame them. Back to this. It is a cool cover. Um, I think it's a limited series. I don't remember what most of them are these days. I don't even think 28 is a good price for this yet because I don't think this is the first appearance of anybody by issue 3. It is a cool cover, but a lot of his covers are kind of cool. I would pass on it personally. Moving to number 19, we've got, of course, why not? As soon as we get the Blood Hunts out, we get the Red Band, and then we get the 1 in 25 shooting out the list. Now, I saw this one before, and I love this cover. I do love it. It's got Tony Stark inside the coffin, hammer to get out. You got the Iron Man suit laid out, and Doctor Strange blade and Dracula instead of the Crypt Keeper and whatnot. And it's got the distressed comic look to it. This is an homage to, I don't remember which issue, but it's a cool book. But after issue number 1, the stores knew that this is a hot commodity. So they ordered enough copies of number 2, number 3, number 4. So that each store got 2, 3, 4 of these things. And with the prices that some of these things are selling, they could literally afford to buy 100 copies of the regular book. So they get 4 copies of this and take the 100 copies and throw them in the garbage and still make a profit. So only issue number 1 that was everybody slept on, nobody ordered, and stores didn't get enough of them. That's the one I think that will hold some value. That's the one with Thor's head being carried. We've got June 22nd. I see the highest sale, which is a couple days before this came out. $125. Somebody paid for this book. Most recent sale, 76. Nope, that was on the 6th. Let's go to yesterday, 60. So half the price has already dropped. And I think this is going to drop even further. I think this is going to wind up being, I think all of these 1 in 25 homages is going to make a nice collection when everything is said and done. But I think only number 1, maybe some value in number 2, but any of the others, I think it's going to be going for ratio. I think they're going to be $25 each, and that's it. Coming up to number 18, Kill All Immortals. Now, this came out last week. I got the cover A. This is the 1 in 10. And so this is Gore the God Butcher meets Erica Slaughter. Got it. There's only so many stories you can come out with before you start crossing stories, I guess. That's a 1 in 10. And the most recent sale is 12 to 15. 15 on the 11th, 12 yesterday. High cost of 18. So I would wager that this is rated, it's going to hover around the $12 to $13 mark right now. It wasn't something that snuck by everybody like Beneath the Trees. This was a book that was, everybody knew it was coming out. If you were pre-ordering books, it was in the stores. The cover A looks very similar to it. Not the same arts, but same color palette. And I think it's probably going to, it is what it is right now. I think it's going to be a 10 to 12 maybe $15 book, somewhere in that range. If the story takes off, it may go up a little bit, but I don't see a 1 in 25. I don't see. I see. Maybe that's a cover B because it doesn't have a ratio variant on it. So maybe all they did was a 1 in 10. But I think stores have several copies of this each. Next up on the list, third week on the list, Action Comics number 1066, the Mark Spears 1 in 25. Now, I thought this book was really going to take off. This book came out June 26th, so 2 weeks ago. And July 10th, this book sold in the 9.6. So somebody fast tracked that sucker. Got it back at 9.6 and sold it for 85. We've got, it says Near Mint Plus on the 3rd of 35. I saw that last week. But now I see yesterday this sold for 44 in a Near Mint regular. So I think this book has rebounded a little bit. It was going for around 40 last week. It's back up to like 44. It's still fine. It's in case you're wondering, yes, this is the book that I was talking about that I picked up. And I'll be honest, I think the detail in this cover on screen here, it doesn't do it justice. If you happen to see a copy of this in your LCS, at least ask them to see it and try to get a closer look at this and the detail that is in this. This is a tremendous undertaking that this artist. I don't care what format he did. This is a lot of work went into this. So Mark Spears, my hat's off to you. There's so much detail in this. You could just, yeah, this needs to be looked at for at least 5 minutes to really take it all in. And it really catches your eye. The colors and everything else. The fact that it's Lobo, it's got the bib, Superman's cape. So I like that book. I do. I'm glad that I got it, even though I wound up getting it, I think, at like 49. So I got it a little bit on the high side. Maybe it'll go back up. I got a feeling not. I'd like to see what 9.8 slabs go for. The one thing that I'm hoping for is that this was Action Comics number 1066. Now, how many copies of Action Comics do stores sell right now on a regular basis? Your average store, I don't think, is selling a lot of Action Comics anymore. Maybe 5 copies, 10 copies each. So your average store, I don't think, bought 25 copies to get this. I don't know if they knew that it was going to blow up. This might be kind of like the Blood Hunts number 1, where a lot of copies weren't ordered. And as a result, they didn't make a lot of these 1 in 25s. You'll have a lot of your big distributors that probably got 3 or 4 copies of these dang things. But in the long run, I got a feeling that this book is going to be sought after by more people than there are actual copies, which supply and demand means it'll go up in price. That's what my hope is. That's why I bought one. All right, next on the list, we've got Watchmen number 1. 1986. Boy, time flies, huh? Now we've got 9.8s going. That's sold in June, $750. But the most recent sale here of a 9.6 on the 5th of July, and the 9.4 yesterday, both sold for under FMV. Raws are also selling right about FMV. So I think this is more of just quantity sold than rise in prices. And I'm trying to remember why this is on even in the limelight right now. I think there's an animated series for this. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I mean, nobody I know is talking about it, so that's not a great sign. But Watchmen was number 1 was on the list last week. Price is seems to be a little bit lower than FMV on the 9496, and there's no recent last 4 weeks sales of the 9.8, so I can't really give you the most recent information there. That being said, this book is a perennial favorite, so just wait for it to drop off the hot list, and then you can look for yourself a copy. Number 15 on the list, we've got Spawn. Number one, Todd McFarlane's. Uh, More rumors about a Spawn movie. The same ones we've been hearing for the last 8 years. Um, I keep hearing that we're going to be getting some news, but I don't know when that news is going to happen. Hopefully, by SDCC, we'll hear something. But I think if we don't hear anything by San Diego Comic Con, then this book is going to drop again. There's an awful lot of copies of this book. So FMV of a 980 is 146. It just sold for 140 yesterday. High grade raws. Ooh, look at this. Somebody snagged themselves a $17 near mint yesterday. That's a good buy. Good job. Meanwhile, somebody got a very fine one for 29. Oh, yeah. Um, this book pops on and off the list so much. It's so hard to. It's like every time it pops on the list, it reminds you, oh, shoot, I haven't bought my Spawn yet. This is one of those ones you just put a post-it note on the fridge that, yeah, check the hot list. Is Spawn not on it? If it's not on it, go buy one. If it's on it, don't buy one. We're 14 on the list. We've got Wolverine number one. That's because we got the movie coming out. This is a tough black cover, so I got to give it that. With all that, very susceptible to showing any defects and color rub on the backside as the comics rubbed against each other. It's 1988. This was his first ongoing series. His first series was, of course, the 1982 Frank Miller run. We've got a 9.8 sale. Oh, yeah, I saw this. I was looking at this earlier. This definitely has to be a typo somewhere. The 9.8 sale for $2.99, slightly over cover price a couple of days ago. Cover price, fair market value. Meanwhile, the 9.6 sold at the end of June, a couple of days before that, for about $10 under fair market value. Same thing with the 9.4 and 9.2. Now, go over here to the Near Mint Plus. $680. I guarantee that's supposed to be 68. There's no way somebody would buy a Near Mint Plus for over twice the price of a 9.8. Just buy two 9.8s, crack them open, and put $80 in your pocket. Jeez. That has to be 68 because the Near Mint regular was 63, and that just seems to jibe. Finding this book again in a 9.8 condition is not the easiest because of its color, but they did print a lot of copies of this, and I believe there is a newsstand of this as well. That's really where you're going to have a hard time finding. Let's see what the 9.8 of that's going for real quick. 840. Yikes. So yeah, definitely a higher price on that one. Which I mean, at this point now, there's more direct sale than there is newsstands. So I'm just not a. This is not a good time to buy this book because of the movie about to come out. Wolverine is definitely all hyped up. I don't know how much more Hugh Jackman is going to be doing his role in the MCU. I don't think he wants to do it anymore. I think he did it this movie because he always wanted to be with Ryan. But they're going to have to reboot Wolverine at some point. I think in this movie, it's going to be an end to the Hugh Jackman era. And until we hear how it's going to progress in the MCU, there's going to be an opportunity where this book is going to be less in focus and possibly drop in price. So just for the movie's sake alone, you don't want to buy this book, but there's an opportunity that this book may have a down tick on the market. So you really want to wait on this one. Omega Men, number 3, the guy I just showed you. This is mine and Greg's book. We each have a matching copy of this. This is our brother book. So glad to see this on the list. Now, I haven't heard any news, but I know that Lobo is somebody that James Gunn absolutely loves. And he's got pretty much a carte blanche with the DC Marvel DC movie universe. So I don't see him not getting this character in somewhere. Fair market value of a 9.8 is 324, and one just sold for 320, so it's holding value there. I think I got mine last year for like 300. So the fact that, well, of all the books that have dropped over the last year, that book has actually held price, which shows you um, that this is a decent investment. If you extrapolate the fact that every book has gone down, but this one is actually, gone slightly up, it means in a normal market where everything slightly goes up, this would really be skyrocketing. Near mint plus one sold in May for 130, but a near mint regular sold for 65 yesterday. So those high grade raws are available for a decent price. Uh, I think 320 is still a decent price for this book. This is not a bad book to get. There has not been any dropped news yet, but as soon as we get dropped news, this book is going to get out of reach real quick. Okay, we've got grommets number 2, the 1 in 10, second week in a row. I couldn't figure out the first week. I still can't figure it out. uh Again, this is a 1 in 10 of number 2. Highest price was on July 11th for a raw 37. Last sale was 28 for a near mint plus, 25 for a near mint. It's a 1 in 10. So it's hitting almost triple ratio, which if you ever watch JP's budget collecting, triple ratio means it'll hold value. However, there is the other factor of why is this book even up here in the first place? The art's not, I mean, the art's okay. It's not that great. Matter of fact, no, it's not even okay. It's not great. Story, I read number 1. I wasn't overly impressed with it. There are no other. It's cover A and the 1 in 10. That's it. I don't hear again. There's no buzz. I don't think that this is really going to hold any kind of value whatsoever. So 28 to 20, 25 to $28. I'll give a very hard pass on that. 18, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. We've got that. I have not seen this book before. And I know what it is. I mean, they just had the Deadpool number 1 facsimile because they're, any chance of printing anything that has Deadpool on it and making money, they're doing. Uh, Gromit's a decent book, but I have no idea why it's on the list. I mean, it's on the list because there's been a lot of sales. I just can't understand why there's a lot of sales. Again, I prefaced it in the beginning by saying, don't blame CovrPrice. They're just reporting what we're doing. What I just can't understand is why we're doing it. So we had the Deadpool number 1 facsimile that came out last week. And this is the 1 in 25 facsimile variant edition. And I still don't understand how you can have a facsimile that's not a facsimile. Any opportunity to try to make money, I guess. That being said, it is a cool picture, though. It is a cool picture. It's got Deadpool like in the ripples of the blood coming off the sword. This rising sun in the background it's very Frank Miller Wolverine-ish to me. It's got the arrows going in them. This is actually a really cool picture. So as much as I hate facsimiles that are not facsimiles and I hate ratio variants, I kind of like this book. Now what do we got as far as price? Somebody on May 27th pre-ordered and paid 65. But the sales yesterday 39 and very fine's going for 22. Wow, very fine. They received damaged books. But you're looking for about 35 to 40 bucks is what this book is going for. If you really like that art, I don't know if that's going to come down that much. I think stores have probably got enough copies of the facsimiles that every store has got 1 or 2 of these. So quantity wise, yeah, it probably will come down after the movie. And I may add this to my keep my eyes open for it books. What we got? Many times the entire comic book market is one big I don't understand why. Amen. And how you doing, Hector? How you doing today? Um, this book, I'm gonna wait because I think this will drop a little bit after the Deadpool movie, and I don't think it'll ever skyrocket. But I like the art enough that I may add this to my own collection. I would be shooting for right around ratio 20 to 25 bucks on this. So 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. We've made it halfway, which means we are going to quickly say thank you to all our Patreon and YouTube members. In case you're wondering who they are, here they are. Again, special thanks to everyone that is a Patreon member or YouTube member. Really appreciate you helping out the channel, helping out with those shipping costs. And oh yeah, I just did a CGC unboxing video, which I had to compile and get loaded up for you. And I immediately had to contact CGC and return a couple of broken slabs. That hurts. It hurts. I mean, the books are okay, but I wanted them in my collection. I don't want them going back to Florida. Anyway, 7:30 at night, I call them up. Hit number one. They call me right back. No problem. Here's the information. You just resubmit them like a mechanical error. Prints up the label for you. You drop it off at FedEx. It's free. They will reslab it. Priority. Make sure you mark ME mechanical error all around the box. They send it back to me. I'll get it back quick, and it will not cost me one penny. And again, their customer service is mwah. Love them. But let's jump into the top 10 for the cover price, shall we? Yes, it's not what you think, but it is what you think. So we got Doom number one, second printing, the Virgin 1 in 25. Okay. So yes, remember the other one said Doom across the front. This one came out last week. The 1 in 25 Virgin second print. I don't even know what this regular second print looked like. Let's see. What did it look like? Ew. The wraparound. Meh. Not crazy about it. Matter of fact, no, I really just don't like it at all. Too busy. All right, so the 1 in 25, show less. Somebody ordered this June 16th, paid 95. June 29th, $90. Near mint 2 days ago, $60. Okay. The Doom number one that came out. Everybody ordered the Adi Granov, the Maria. Well, the Maria Wolf was nobody ordered the cover A, because nobody thought that this book was going to go anywhere in price, and the Adi Granov looked so much better. So stores just did not get a lot of the cover A's. And then when people realized that they were not as many printed as everything else, the cover A shot up in price. Supply, demand. Now, flash forward a month or two. Everybody knows that this book is hot. The stores know this book is hot. So they're going to order a bunch of the second printing so they get this in there, because they know, thanks to Blood Hunt, that everybody is going crazy for the 1 in 25s. So there's going to be a ton of these, and people are not going to want to spend 190, 95, or even 60 bucks for these things. And in 2 months, this book is going to be down to $20. Please avoid this book like the plague. Number 9, Captain America issue number 25. First appearance of Sam Wilson as Captain America. In case you're wondering why, it's because the trailer for Captain America Brave New World has dropped. Looks like a decent trailer. I'm interested in seeing Harrison Ford. I'm worried about it. And that's honest to goodness the truth. because the trailer looks just as good to me as the trailer did for Secret Invasion. Now, I am a fan of the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. Except the end speech, I thought that was just a little bit too hokey. It didn't. Sam Wilson doesn't inspire me the same way as Steve Rogers does with those speeches. I mean, that's why Steve Rogers was great. But what he stood for and everything, and his what he believed, especially from a military standpoint, and trying to work with vets, I think his character is amazing. This book went up in price with Falcon and Winter Soldier, crashed back down again, and now it looks like it's getting a rebump in here. So let's see this. A 9.8 of this book sold in 2021 for $660. Most recent sale, $85. Yesterday, $85 for a 9.8. Now, the trailer didn't surprise anybody as far as Sam Wilson being Captain America. We knew that from the series. We knew we were getting a movie. This is not news. So this book is not going to have, it's not going to surge back up to 660 again. That's when it was breaking that it was news. It's still, and it's not the greatest cover. It's okay. This may go down a little bit over time, but overall, this is about what it's going to be. $10 for a high grade raw, near mint raw yesterday. I think that's your better bet. Get yourself a nice high grade raw for $10. Keep an eye out for newsstands if they have it. There is a second print, and I do not see a newsstand. Interesting. What year was this? 2014. Yeah, they were gone by then. No, not really. Well, they didn't offer it for newsstands. This is a meh book. This is a whatever. It had its time in the sun, and it's not going to get back to those levels again. So don't expect it to shoot back up to 660. All right. What number am I up to here? I'm coming up on number 8. Wolverine number 88. Again, the direct edition deluxe $1.95 price, same as last week on the list. The iconic pose as the first of Deadpool holding Wolverine. We're going to get either this or the reverse negative of Wolverine holding up Deadpool with the claws in the movie. I could pretty much guarantee it. Is it in the comic books? This is the first direct meeting of Wolverine and Deadpool and the first battle. There was a $1.50 regular price. And this one, let's see, 2021, $1,000 for a 9.8. Now $410 for a 9.8. And I think this is going to drop down to $300 for a 9.8. $350 after the movie. $350 after the movie, because this is the deluxe one, so it will have a little bit more of a premium value. The regular one, I think, is already down around $300. If this is what you like, it's not a bad investment. I'd wait till after the movie, obviously, but again, if I got $400, there's other things. I'd rather go get a couple of Golden Age books or one really good, one decent book than get this. I'm not a fan, excuse me, of the spending hundreds of dollars on modern books. It just doesn't make much sense to me. But I know that there is a very big market for it. I'm just, and I'm not going to say don't buy it if you like it. If you like it, go for it. I would just wait at least until the movie's out and done. Angry Straight White Male, how you doing, sir? I have a horror story for. I believe my LCS dipped into my pull box and gave away my book. Oh, my LCS owner texted everyone for orders and asked if I needed anything. Did you get a confirmation? Because some stores do the confirmation when you ordered the book. When I show up last week to pick up my books and I notice I'm short a book, he plays it off like I didn't order it. Makes a showing of leaving the counter to check for the rack for one. Well, you should have a receipt of that you ordered. It should be on your orders list for your pull screen. Dude, you type fast. He doesn't have one, offers to order one. It's sold out, so he can't get it, but he will get me on the next issue. The book, X-Men J. Scott Campbell's Silent. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Uh, trying to think. Oh, no, no, don't fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. Where are my books? Right there. Are you talking about the Virgin one or the regular one? I specifically ordered that cover and series along with all this other stuff. He gets all the other stuff ordered and recorded for my pull box except that one book. I think a whale came in and hadn't ordered it, so he dipped in my box with that big spender. Well, that's just not right. That is absolutely not right. And again, are you talking about this one with the X-Men across it? There's my question for you, sir. Or are you talking about the Virgin? I'm not quite sure. While I'm waiting for you to answer that, I will continue on with the list. X Force number one. Now, the biggest reason why this is on here right now, um, besides the Deadpool playing card, is because we've got news now that GW Bridge is being played by Giancarlo Esposito. I got the name right for the first time since I've been doing this. Yes, that exact one, and not the Virgin. Tell you what, I have to go to the store in 2 days. I will check to see if they have any for you, and because I only got one for myself, let me see what I can dig up for you. I don't think that these sold out. It was only a $6 cover price, but yeah, if I'm not mistaken, you probably ordered this for the same exact reason I ordered this. That's a damn hot cover. uh, well, anyway, the GW Bridge being played by Giancarlo Esposito. Um, I don't know if I like that role, that casting. He just does not seem to me to be the big, imposing physical character that GW Bridge is. Yes, that is correct. And okay, there we go. Yes, it absolutely does stand for the George Washington Bridge. And if you're from New York, you get a nice laugh out of that. Question is, which way are you going? You got to know which, so if you're paying the toll. So, but GW is a very imposing figure, and Esposito really doesn't. He looks like a small frame guy. This doesn't look right to me. This book is hot right now. I'm rich. Yes, this book is hot right now. Let's look at some prices, shall we? Okay. Most recent 9.8s are up to $75. The fair market value of that book is 59. Near mints are selling for 7. Near mints are 5, near mint plus are 7. And this is going to put a little hiccup into Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics because he loves keeping these books in his pull box and he buys them every time he gets a show. So for the next couple of shows, at least until this goes down again, he's going to have to wait. No, knowing him, he'll just chill out the extra money because he likes to make sure his pull box just makes all of us look horrible in comparison. He does that to us. But yeah, I don't think the GW Bridge is going to be a major character in the MCU. I don't think that this book that they printed 87 billion copies of is really going to hold any kind of value. It's spiking temporarily because of that first appearance in this, but the sheer volume that this book is in around for the public, it's not going to hold any kind of value. I mean, it's going to hold $5. It's going to hold $7. I don't even think it's going to hold 75 for a 9.8. I think this is going to drop back down to 60 pretty quickly. This is just a very short spike, and I wouldn't, just wait for it to come down a little bit. Unless you're really want to buy one from angry straight white male, then he's looking to sell. Barbaric number one. Now this one shocked the heck out of me. I actually own one of these somewhere. Uh, Not only do I own one of these, I own four of the polybag. And I have one of the Conan, the Barbarian homage because I thought that really looked cool. Now I have no clue why this is on the list. I think there's another series coming out of this, and so is this kind of like the Geiger effect where they come out with a new series, so the original series spikes up a little bit? Trend on this is up 26%, which is quite a big bump here. 9.8, the highest known was in 2021. It sold for $86, which really isn't that high. Right now, 515, it sold for 41. So whatever news it is, that is after the May. But we got $24 for Raws near mints yesterday. So something must have happened in the last couple of days. I'm just not aware of. If anybody knows why Barbaric is hitting the list, maybe it got options. I don't know. And if that's the case, then definitely don't, because just because you get option doesn't even mean it's going to be produced. Sometimes people buy they buy, and some companies will buy the option to make sure that nobody else does make it, because maybe it interferes with one of their own projects. I don't want anybody. I don't want to make that movie, but I don't want anybody else to make the movie. So I'm just going to pay them for the option, and then I'll just never do it. That being said, though, Barbaric had a lot of copies. A lot of people bought them. And I got some poly bags for sale. They're not even sticky. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 on the list. You knew this was going to be here at some point. New Mutants, number 98. First appearance of Deadpool. The book is already starting to show a little bit of a downturn. 9.8. Somebody paid $4,000 for it back in 2021. Sorry. 1,101 on the 12th for a 9.8, which is $169 less than FMV. And incidentally, I saw a 9.8 on the Elite 11. It was the deal of the day. It was $9.99 with shipping included, and it sold like instantly. But wait. We got Barbaric. Hold off the presses. Barbaric is in talks to be optioned with Michael Bay, Patrick Stewart attached to the project. Patrick Stewart? Okay. I love Patrick Stewart, but I would not count on him being around for too many more projects. Okay. Logan, even Multiverse of Madness, you can hear how his speech is getting slower. If you go back to the 1981 movie Excalibur, he was in that movie. The dude was already bald. Okay. 43 years ago, the dude was already bald. Just he's in his 80s. And we just lost 270. We lost three celebrities this weekend. So, and I want the guy to live forever. I do, but I wouldn't count on him doing so. Yes, the Patrick Stewart. So, if he's, I don't know if he's going to be in it or what, but if they're counting on him, they better start filming pretty quickly, because usually when they start, they option a movie, you're now 2 to 3 years away from it being released. So that's a lot of mileage on Sir Patrick Stewart. So I hope he's in it. I hope he's fine. I don't wish ill will for anybody. I'm just a realist when it comes to that. And thank you for the update about that being optioned. I did not know that. I'm going to have to start digging through a lot of boxes to try to find those books. New Mutants number 98 has dropped down a little bit. Like I said, 9.6 is 550, which is a little bit over FMV, but the 9.4, 370, 9.2, 338. These are all sales in the last 2 days. So they're dropping down a little bit. Near Mint Plus, 390. Near Mint Regular, 258 yesterday. So this, it was a couple of years ago that when the highest point was the opening night of the movie, Now the highest point seems to be when the trailers hit. Well, the trailers have passed. We're almost at the movie, and this is already it's downward. It started to go down. It's a key book. It's not going to drop down to $20. So I'd wait till about a month after it leaves the movie theater. You'll get another spike when it comes out on Blu-ray / streaming. But in between those two, you'll have your best little dip to pick one up. Then it'll go up a little bit for streaming and then come back down again. I would wait for, if let's say you're waiting for a 9.8, I'd be shooting for about 850, 900 in one of the lows. If you want a high grade raw, near mint, 200, near mint plus, 325. Yeah, that's what I think it should sell for in the low points. Number 4 on the list. I was surprised to see this, but I wasn't surprised. So, and the reason is because Hulk #1, you see, the Red Hulk on the cover. He actually doesn't appear in that book, but most people don't really realize that. Most, casual readers, they see him on the cover and just figure he's in it. This is actually the first appearance of the Red Hulk in the story and the first appearance of the A-Bomb. And you can see Red Hulk in the reflection of Tony Stark's helmet, which is cool. I didn't realize that Tony Stark had blue eyes. Anyway, this book has gone up. Why? Because the trailer for Captain America dropped and the spoiler alert. Sorry. Not really, because everybody, I am sorry, but not really a spoiler because everybody knew this was going to happen. Red Hulk is in the end of the trailer. 9.8, 125, highest known value, 225 back in 2022, and $29 for near mint plus, $25 for near mint. Okay, this book came out in 2008. They were printing them by the gross. There is a newsstand version of this. There's a second print. There's a 1 in 20 Dirjevic. Ew. That black and white version doesn't look that great. There's still a good amount of time before this movie comes out. And this book will settle a little bit. Right now, it's super hot because the trailer dropped. And I don't think Red Hulk is going to be anything after the movie. And that is because I think that's going to be the end of Ross, the end of Red Hulk. If you couldn't get the Abomination to really have longevity in the MCU, Red Hulk, I think, has very little chance, especially since, being blunt, Harrison Ford has the same problem as Sir Patrick Stewart. Okay. So if you have an actor that passes away and you need to replace him, do you replace him with an actor that's even older? It didn't make much sense. I'm glad that I want to see Harrison Ford in the role. I would love to see him play the president for a second time. Air Force One. But I want to see actors get in that will be around for 20, 30 years. So I would just hold off on this. I just don't think that even when the movie comes, I don't think this book is going to be anything. I think it's going to be more like first appearance of Echo and first appearance of Riri Williams and Ironheart. I think it's going to be in that pile when everything's said and done. Number 3, we've got the original, the one, the only Doom #1, not the second print, but the first one that everybody passed on. We knew it was going to be here at some point. Now we had a lower sale for a 9.8 last week. But now I see 102. I think it was more like 88 last week. It was funny. But FNV, it says 110. Last sale yesterday, 102. And near mint plus at 40, near mint at 35. It's still holding. Again, this still reminds me of the Spider-Boy phenomenon last year. And where are those prices now? They're half of where they were last year. We really thought they were going to hold. And I'm afraid it's going to have to fall into the same category as those last year. Um, so you got a bit of time before it drops. So look for bargains, but um, I know I'll have a couple raw copies at the show in October, and I'll be selling them under whatever FMV is at that time. So, eh, I feel like Gru's mother. Eh, I'm getting tired of seeing it, and I just know in the long run it's just not going to be worth it. If it really was going to be worth it, it would have shot through the roof by now. It would have been $100 a copy. So, Fantastic Four. We've got a. Does this qualify as Silver Age because it's 15 cents? I believe so. 1970 book. So Fantastic Four number 94. First appearance of Agatha Harkness. Why? Because another trailer dropped. Agatha's Agatha All Along. That's what it's called. They changed the name so many times I had to think about it. Um, and I have a low grade copy of this that I just wanted a low grade copy when the WandaVision came out. So this book has dropped phenomenally since that series. Because when we knew that we were going to get an Agatha spinoff, it shot up, and then so many spinoffs, so many series have flopped that people have had like no um, faith in it. 9.8 sold in 2022, April 8th, 2022, a little over 2 years ago, 11,400. Most recent sale, 9.8, 9,000 back in April. So it did drop quite a bit. Silver Age 9.8, you're going to have a hard time with. All right. But I don't remember what I paid. I think I have like a 4.0 and I didn't pay much. But let's just see. Very fines right now, $95. Near mint, that's from 2023. I'm going to pass on that. But let's just go with graded copies. A 9.0. 9.0 for a Silver Age Fantastic Four. That's a good book right on its own. 365. Drop it down to a 7.0. 175. Under 200 bucks. I think my 4.0. I don't even want to think about what I paid for it. It's now $57. It's barely the cost of grading at that point. 6.0 is 85, still under 100 bucks. So, first appearance of Agatha in a Silver Age Fantastic Four, and you can get a mid-grade book for under 100 bucks. I got a feeling that this series is going to be fun and scary at the same time. It's coming out at Halloween time. And if you think about the Werewolf by Night's special presentation, that was so well done. I don't know how else to say it, but it hit the spot. It was good. I liked it. It was black and white. It had that old 1950s campiness to it, done just to the right amount, and at the same time, had this like when you saw blood splatter in black and white. I didn't even need to see the colorized version. I really liked it. And I watched it again recently. I still like it. I think that this might take it up a notch as far as horror. It's just really reminding me of something that Raimi would do, and but not strange and the multiverse of the madness, more like Evil Dead. So I'm looking forward to it. I got a feeling this one might be a sleeper. I think people are afraid to invest in this one because they know how some of these series have gone. Um, the Acolytes, which is Star Wars, I understand. Obi-Wan, Secret Invasion, She-Hulk. There's so many bombs that they've had. People are afraid to invest in it. But I got a feeling this series is going to be good. A. And B, it's still a Silver Age Fantastic Four key. So this is a good book to look for, especially if you're looking for a mid-grade. Heck, you can get a higher grade raw, 7.0 to 8.5. Very fines, 95 bucks for a raw. Okay, 8.0 slabbed, 140. Look at some of these prices. Even if the trailer came out, I don't think that piqued any interest because everybody knew this was coming out anyway. And number one on the list, there's your Red Hulk on the cover. Hulk number one, the Ed McGuinness from 2008. And there is a, what is it called? The 1 in 50 variant that had the question mark on it, that used to be worth so much more, but it's not. Don't confuse that with the, or if you can confuse it, whichever. No, don't confuse it with the uh, Atomic Comics limited to 5,000. It has a different logo over here by the H. Just make sure you do your homework on that. All right, so 9.8s on this, 246. FMV is 324, and it just sold for 246. Wow. $70 for a near mint raw. Near mint plus raw. 2 days ago. Yesterday, near mint regular, 93, under $100 for a near mint. Wow. 190 for a 9.6. Again, it's this book this book was $600 in 2021 and a 9.8. Now it's at 246, less than half the price. After the trailer drops, after with all the hype, this book is destined to have a big fall. This book is definitely going to have a big fall. After this movie comes out, this book is definitely going to take a big fall. I think it's going to drop down to 120. And that's a tremendous drop. I really think that's what's going to happen. And I really advise against getting this book, especially now. Even if it doesn't drop to 120, this is still the high watermark of where it's going to be in pricing right now because the trailer just dropped. So at the very least, wait a month or two and for it to come down a bit. But I just, nope. And that is the Cover Price top 20. Now I have to come up with two picks. The first pick, which again, I'll come up with a better title than my gun to the head, because that used to be an expression that is like a gun to my head. What would I pick? In today's society, I had to pick up something different, you know? This is a pick that I think will, if not go up, at least go down the least. Okay. If I had to, in current market prices, pick a book, which would it be? And I think the way I talked about that, I'm just going to rescan through this list to make sure I'm not forgetting something because I've been talking for almost an hour. But yeah, I'm going to stick with this, and I am going to say that I would be looking for. I'm going with the Fantastic Four number 94, first appearance of Agatha Harkness, Return of the Frightful Four, really cool cover art on it. And it's the first mention of the name Franklin Richards. So, by the way, if we cut a Fantastic Four movie and they Franklin Richards becomes a big deal, that could be a secondary kick for this book, which is good. Now, what grade would I be shooting for? Da 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 da. I think my best value, I mean, I'd love to get that 9.0 for 365, but an 8.0 for 140, and that's the FMV. That was 623. You're probably not going to find that anymore. 8.5 to solve for 204. So I probably would be able to get an 8.0. 95. I'm thinking I would be shooting for somewhere in the 7.5 to 8.5 range and trying to keep my cost to about 175. That would make me happy to get a nice upgrade to my current condition. And I think that book has an upside in the long run, because it is Silver Age. I think it'll hold more value, and it has a chance to go up again because of Franklin Richards, the first time his name is mentioned, because that character is going to come at some point. Now I have to pick I think it'll be safe to say this, the rubber band to the butt. This is the book that I think is the worst pick on here for investability at current prices. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's my pick. Okay. We've got that Doom #1 second printing 1 in 25 virgin variants. No. Everybody knew about this. I looked at it and said, second printing, wow, that's going to come out high price and everybody's going to go crazy and it's going to drop like a stone. I knew it when I saw it on the final order cutoff. So this was already pre-selling at 95, already down to 60. I wouldn't even pay 60 because I think within 3 months you're going to see this book at 20. Okay. This is a book that you want to avoid. It's going to drop like crazy. Great. Now, if someday you get it for 20 bucks and then they cast somebody to play Doctor Doom in the movie and he has a signing, that'd be a cool book to send in for a signing. But actually, no, the Adi Granov would be a better book to send in for a signing and cheaper too. And that is my pick for the best and worst of what we have here on the list. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for sticking around. I see there's four of you here. Please, if you don't mind, click that like button because it helps tell YouTube that the people that watch it enjoy it. If they enjoy it, maybe we should have more people watch it. It's this vicious circle. We got Wednesday, new comic book day. Don't forget, we do another live stream and we give away books every single week. Want to give it to you. We've got our Patreon pull box coming up on July 27th. I've got two videos that I've already recorded tonight. I'm going to try to compile and get one up today for the Patreon members. Regular YouTubers, you'll see it later in the week. And that's going to be my What's in the Box. And that's pretty much it for tonight. So I want to thank you so much for joining. Don't forget, like, subscribe, click on those notifications so you know more videos are dropping. And drop a comment, not only here, but in the replay. I want to hear from you. What do you guys like? What do you think is a good investment, bad investment? Inquiring minds want to know. But until I see you in the next video, though, mahalo.